What the hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is. What in the hell is that?
Everybody know that's Big Dick B.
I would not mess with that thing. Don't put your lips on it.
So, as you guys know, there is nothing I love more than feedback from you guys, right? Yesterday, I got a comment, good long comment, a lot of points. I talked about those points, I made my counterpoints. Now I have his retort to my counterpoints, such as it is. And I would like to read it for the class. No shit, I'm not lying. This is how it fucking starts. The bike and jogging paths in Boulder, Weld, and Jefferson counties are open to the public if anyone wants to visit. There are hundreds of windmills. Please stay to the right. And then it has a little bicycle version. Advertisement for Colorado. Go and check out the bike paths and all the windmills. By the way, Andy, this isn't your fucking high school days, dude. It's almost 2021. That's very true. It is the current day. However, I think you might have missed my point. My point is, when I was in middle school, not high school, nevertheless, when I was in middle school, so 30 years ago, we got a solar panel, and it powered one light. The technology hasn't changed very much in the past 30 years. It hasn't gotten much better. And the reason why it hasn't gotten much better is because there's no way to develop a material that will soak up more of the sun's energy than what we currently have. And they haven't figured out how to turn up the sun to make it beam in more energy. And we haven't figured out the way around that whole pesky atmosphere thing that soaks up most of the energy from the sun's rays. So because of those three laws of physics, the technology hasn't improved in 30 years. It isn't good now. It wasn't good 30 years ago. It isn't going to be good in 30 years from now. It isn't going to be any better 100 years from now. It might be better 100 years from now. We don't know. In 100 years, we might not have an atmosphere anymore. We'll all be dead, but the solar panels, man, those things are going to soak up fuck tons of energy for whoever can survive on this planet without an atmosphere going forward. We'll have built that it'll be broke down, because it's going to be turning like this, and then suddenly it's going to go, and that's going to be it, and then it's just not going to work anymore. But, nevertheless, so that was kind of my point, and you highlighted it perfectly when you said, yeah, it's 30 years since you were in middle school. You said high school, but nevertheless, middle school. It's been 30 years since then. It ain't any fucking better. And I understand the problems of why. Now that I've explained them to you, do you understand the problems of why? Moving on. Battery phone, lol. Exactly my fucking thoughts. It's retarded. Boulder is one of the leading cities in the country when it comes to green tech. Can you comprehend that? New technology! Alright, look. New technology. We've already established that solar panels are 30 years old. That ain't fucking new, right? And, seriously, there are people who have been born, grown middle-aged, and had children who are now old enough to graduate high school in the fucking time that solar panels hasn't done shit. So, it's not new. And as far as windmills, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Human beings have been harnessing the power of the wind since BC times. The ancient Egyptians had sailboats. That is harnessing the power of the wind. Harnessing the power of the wind is not a new concept. It's extraordinarily old. We've had windmills since the Dark Ages. You want to know why? Here's what they actually used to do. There was a big, huge, round, fucking rock. Big flat rock in the middle of the fucking windmill, right? And then the windmill had a big fucking tree trunk that would come down it, right? And it had a big old log that came off of that with another big round fucking rock, right? And that rock, the windmill would turn, and the gears would turn the rock, and the rock would roll on the other big rock. And people would take wheat and put it on the fucking rocks. And they would just run the fucking giant rock over it to the point where it pounded into fucking dust. And that's how we made flour. And flour's how we make bread. And that's what windmills were good for. And that's still what they're good for today. Menial tasks. They're not good for creating energy. That's why you shitheads in Colorado still have oil and coal burning power plants. Because the windmills don't make enough energy. Thousands of windmills still can't match a couple of dozen fucking coal burning plants. Not by a long shot. You don't have enough land in Colorado to make that happen. I'm sorry. But it isn't new technology. What's the new technology exactly? Because windmills have been around since the Dark Ages, and harnessing the power of the wind is something that the ancient Egyptians did before Christ was born. What would happen if government gave green tech the same subsidies it gives oil companies? I'll tell you exactly what happened. Fuck all. Because for however many years, 6 or 7 years, Obama did that. And it didn't lead anywhere. Because it's fucking shit. And has been for decades, if not millennia. Obama did that. What would happen? We know. Fuck all. That is what would happen. Rolling blackouts in California, and you guys have a fuck ton of windmills that are killing all the eagles and the hawks, but fuck them, they make nests on top of them. Jesus Christ. You're wrong about solar. No, I'm not. Right now in Weld, Colorado, you can get paid for putting electricity back into the grid. Hashtag fact. Hashtag fact. You're not selling them additional power that you're generating. You're generating a little trickle of fucking energy, and you sell it back to them as like a you get a discount on your power because you get a little trickle of energy. That point would be anything other than idiotic if it wasn't for the fucking fact that you still get like 90% of your fucking energy from coal. And no, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but nevertheless, you're not powering your houses with solar and then selling the leftovers to the energy company. You're essentially saying, I have a solar panel, so cut me a break. Fuck me in the ass. You are just not, it's ignorance. It's utter, and ignorance doesn't mean stupidity. Because you probably are ignorant and don't even understand that. Ignorant doesn't mean stupidity. It means a fucking utter lack of knowledge. You said that as if that fucking meant something. What the fuck was that even supposed to mean? Anyways, the peaks over 13,000 feet stay snow covered 9 to 10 months a year. Okay, yeah. What does that have to do with anything? I wasn't talking about the peaks. I was talking about where people live. It snows and then the snow fucking disappears really quick. You're not saying I'm wrong on my point. You're just saying that the peaks have... Yeah, I understand the fact that there are snow-covered mountains in Colorado. I get that. Why did you feel the need to tell me that? Nobody was talking about that. Do you need me to explain to you why that is? Because that high up, 13,000 feet, it's extraordinarily cold. It's like really fucking cold. So the snow stays for most of the year because it's extraordinarily cold. It only disappears the couple of months in the year where it's so hot that the sun actually fucking warms up the top of the mountain and then the snow fucking disappears. That's why that happens, in case you didn't know. I don't know why you brought that up. I'm just like explaining things at this point because I don't know why you brought that up. California, Arizona, and Texas both have rolling electric outages. Okay. So you're not saying that I'm wrong because it's because of the solar horseshit that California has rolling blackouts. You're just pointing out that Arizona and Texas both have those shit too? Okay. I gotcha. I don't know the reasons why Arizona and Texas, but California is because their power, like, draw is for horseshit because they are trying to use solar and solar doesn't work. But you didn't say I was wrong, so I don't know what's going on there either. We're just throwing out random facts. Over 90% of both state forests are federally maintained. Okay, but your state mandates say they can't do forest maintenance. They can't do they can't burn off dry brush. They can't do controlled burns. They can't cut back the trees. They're not allowed to cut down any trees, and they're not allowed to trim the tree branches around the power lines. They're not allowed to do any of that. Okay, it's maintained by the federal government, but there's still state laws that they have to follow because they're... Okay, so again, I don't know why you brought that up, but you didn't say I was wrong. So, alright, the Hunter story has been verified by, and he put caps, nobody, dude, nobody. Andy, stop. Alright, I'll play you this.
Good evening. My name is Tony Bobulinski. I served as a lieutenant in the United States Navy with high security clearance. My father and grandfather both served for decades in our country's armed forces. Since leaving the Navy, I've been involved in various successful businesses, both in this country and abroad. I'm making this statement to set the record straight about the involvement of the Biden family, Vice President Biden, his brother Jim Biden, and his son Hunter Biden in dealings with the Chinese. I have heard Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden. I have also heard that Vice President Biden said on Tuesday that Senator Ron Johnson, the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, should be ashamed for suggesting that Biden family sought to profit from their name. Well, here are the facts I know, and everything I'm saying is corroborated by emails, WhatsApp chats, agreements, documents, and other evidence. And the American people can judge for themselves.
My friend, this makes you look like Rudy and Borat. No. It actually doesn't, because I am not wearing pants with which to tuck in my shirt or to put down my hand down. Like, I'm not wearing any pants. I film in Pooh Bear. So, it doesn't. The Republican answer is right! Christ! Okay? Just screaming stuff. Those bills are bipartisan. You need to stop watching the news. Okay? They may be bipartisan, but they're full of horse shit. And I don't want him to pass like any of them. So I'm happy that he's not. And I don't want to stop watching the news because that's what keeps me informed on things. That thing that you are expressing here that you are not. I don't watch the news. No shit. I watch C-SPAN. No shit. The horse shit, agreed. Okay? Both Dems and Republicans are being stubborn at this point. They are both trying to please their lobbyists. Maybe after Trump loses, we can do a channel together. Lol. Well, what are you going to do if Trump wins? Are you going to do a channel with me then? Somehow I doubt it. But honestly, I don't think you have what it takes to be on my channel. You have yet to do anything but make points that have not a fucking thing to do with what I talked about. Make points that actually enhance my point while you're trying to say that I'm somehow wrong. And you just have a stunning fucking lack of knowledge of like what is happening that you're commenting on. Like if this is an application, I would not hire you. You have a piss poor work ethic. You don't do any research. You don't know anything about what's currently happening in the world. Why would I want to talk to you? Like, I mean, I'd talk to you. I don't mind having people on to talk to, but dude, we ain't doing a show together. This is no fucking way. Like, I'm not gonna do a show. I'm not gonna do a show with you wherein I teach you what's happening in reality, because I have already offered that to somebody else that honestly I like more than you. And believe me, that's saying something. So, you know, there you go. That is my response to your whatever that was. Your I don't know. Trivia show practice is what I'll call that, because you just kind of threw out a whole bunch of random facts and I kind of went, okay, so like, you do get the point I was trying to make with elevation, right? You're at a much higher altitude. So, like, when you get at a higher altitude, the air begins to get thinner, colder, and a lot faster, right? The higher up you go, the more into the atmosphere you go, that thing's really cooking. So it blows the wind a lot faster. The shit's colder, that's why the snow. And the air gets thinner, that's why it's difficult to climb mountains. Like, physically for human beings, because you're climbing, which uses a lot of energy. It makes you breathe heavy, and there's no energy to resupply that energy that's being burnt. So it's fucking tough. Like, you have to do a lot of training. That's why, like, I believe a couple of the Olympic facilities, the Olympic training facilities, are in Colorado. And the reason they do that is because Colorado is at a very fucking high altitude. So the air is thinner there. So they train in the higher altitude, and then when they come down to a lower altitude where there's a lot more oxygen in the air, it almost hyperoxygenates their blood. Since we're just throwing out random fucking facts, why not just toss out a couple more?